Government has tabled the third supplementary budget for 2024-2025 worth 4.2 trillion shillings. The funds will provide additional resources for the Africa Cup of Nations 2027 preparations, payment of roads contractors, and fund operations for both the army and the police. Government commitments and obligations include critical expenditure requirements for outstanding certificates to road construction companies, security-related expenditure under the Ministry of Defense and the Uganda Police Force, and Africa Cup of Nations 2027 related expenditure for completion of stadia and training facilities. The request was tabled by State Minister for Finance Henry Musasizi, prompting Deputy Speaker Thomas Taiwa to refer the proposal to Parliament's Budget Committee for scrutiny before a final decision is taken by Parliament.
Amounting to Uganda shillings 4.255 trillion to cater for government commitments, the outstanding certificates to road construction companies, security-related expenditure under the Ministry of Defense and Veteran Affairs and Uganda Police Force, Africa Cup of Nations AFCON 2027 for completion of Hoima Stadium, construction of Akibwa Stadium, training facilities and operational expenses in the preparation for the African Cup of Nations 2027.
Supplementary referred to Committee on Budget, be expeditiously handled and report back.
Kampala Metropolitan Police has launched a crackdown on fraudsters targeting bus passengers in the city. Patrick Onyango, the Kampala Metropolitan Police spokesperson, revealed that imposters posing as agents for various bus companies are operating in taxi stages and outside bus terminals, primarily targeting travelers heading up country. These scammers, Onyango noted, have created counterfeit receipts similar to the authentic bus company receipts. To combat this issue, the police have arrested and charged 5 suspects with obtaining money by false pretense. In collaboration with bus owners, the police have implemented measures to prevent further fraudulent activities. Onyango explained that the removal of outside offices and desks along roads and streets is part of measures to prevent fraudsters from operating in these areas.
In collaboration with the bus owners, the police have implemented measures to prevent further fraudulent activities. That is, removal of outside offices and desks along roads and streets. Ticket sales will only be authorized at official bus company offices. A targeted operation has been launched to apprehend individuals involved in this practice.
The Uganda People's Defense Forces, the UPDF, has deployed in South Sudan to help prop up the government of President Salva Kiir, the Chief of Defense Forces, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, has revealed. Muhoozi posted a video on his favorite social media platform, X. The video showed soldiers disembarking from a civilian aircraft carrying guns. The deployment of UPDF to South Sudan again speaks of the deteriorating political and security crisis in Africa's youngest country. It is not known under what arrangement the UPDF has been deployed in South Sudan. Yesterday in Parliament, Kira Municipality MP Ibrahim Ssemujunganda asked the Minister of Defense to confirm the alleged deployment of the UPDF to South Sudan without parliamentary approval.
The CDF has just announced that he has deployed our military in South Sudan to protect the capital. And you know, Mr. Speaker, that deployment can only happen with approval of Parliament. So the motion is that you adjourn debate on this matter, Mr. Speaker, and I raise this matter. The good thing, we have the Minister for Defense here and the Minister of Defense to tell us how this deployment has been done in total violation of the Constitution. That's the motion, Mr. Speaker, I am seeking to move.
For weeks now, tension has been building between forces loyal to President Salva Kiir and those of his first Vice President Riek Machar, who heads the Sudan People's Liberation Movement Army in opposition. Last week, militia that are said to be loyal to Machar overran the town of Nasir in the north of the country bordering Sudan, killing many people, including a South Sudan People's Defense Forces commander in the region. Parliament's Defense and Internal Affairs Committee has grilled top management of the Uganda Police Force over concerns regarding the functionality of the National CCTV Systems project. Despite Parliament raising concerns about the non-functionality of the CCTV project, the government has dismissed these claims, insisting that the system is operating effectively. David Muhoozi, the Minister of State for Internal Affairs, defended the 437 billion shillings project, asserting that in some districts the system has a 100% functional rate. He further explained that the implementation of Phase 3 of the project has stalled due to lack of funds. Since the inception of the system in 2018, the minister revealed that over 42,000 operations and intelligence-led incidents have been managed. Economists have called on the government to learn to live within its means and manage spending if the country is to survive the constant global and local economic shocks. This comes as the country, like many around the world, are reeling from the shock by U.S. President Donald Trump's sweeping fiscal programs that have seen the world's largest donor cut aid to countries and multinational humanitarian organizations. Speaking at the 2025 Stanbic Economic Insights Symposium, Dr. Fred Muhumuza, an economic and policy researcher, says Uganda maneuvered the COVID-19 era fairly well and has not been highly affected by the Russian war on Ukraine, the global inflation and climate shocks, but it has not learnt its lessons. He specifically criticized a government continued high spending like the large government vehicle fleet, which he said could save the government 1 trillion shillings if only essential officers were given cars. Dr. Sebastian Walker, the IMF country representative, warned that the oil and gas revenues expected to start flowing in 2027 would not solve all the country's economic needs, adding that there will come a time when the revenue will stop flowing. For more stories and the latest updates, log on to sanufm.com.